Hello. Uh, this is the first time I'm recording this playthrough. This is the newly released alpha that I've been able to package after reviews, and this is just to walk through my process and a little bit of what I'm looking for in this kind of visualization. So at first I've created a menu with some instructions and as well as some exit tickets. So for example, we have this, the little credits in there, and then be able to reset the level. Uh, but let's jump right in. Uh, First of all, there's multiple perspectives that I've chosen. A bird's eye to get a better understanding of the project and site, and also a more down to earth perspective. Um, and I can change that with both the keyboard and the controller. I'm playing with an Xbox 360 controller. It's old school, but it does the job. So um, let's walk through in a third person view. It's almost first person. I still haven't been able to manage to get uh, three views in the same package. They kind of just fight each other, and these two are the ones that stay. And I haven't put a skin to the character yet. It's not really important, but let's get down to it. So you can walk, run, and I've made it to where the entire site is available. There's quirky things, kind of like this backdrop, because this edge, because it's two files. One that's like the exterior file, and one that's the actual file, the actual site file. These text instances are rendered text, so they stay as text. Haven't been able to get it to rotate as you rotate. So anyways, let's just go through the circulation of the building. There's some walls missing, and that's for good reason. They're just too complicated to put in. So let's go around. And the alpha that had for reviews, you can go up past this point, but I fixed that. And you can see the level of detail that this can get into. So like the components themselves, you can have that, as well as bathrooms, faucets, piping. You can show all that, as well as sinks, faucets, some concrete walls for stalls and toilets, and diffusers as well. You can see that one right there in yellow. So let's get out of the bathrooms and let's keep on going. And we start ascending into the building. There's the telecom, some objects I've created to be non-collisioned, so you can literally just walk through them. And that's for a reason, because HVAC and piping wasn't completely accurate, I would say, to 100%, but it's to a point where it gives the point. So as you can see, those pipes don't connect and such, but it's not important. And then we also have functional stairs. You can go all the way up, no probs. So, and I took the railing out because once again it creates a lot of modeling issues when you start having all those railings. There's still railings, but I took most of them out. So glass is really hard to get in Unreal, but it's easy to have just a straight up reflection. So let's get inside a room. Some overlapping furniture, as you can see. There's two of them in there, so I'll probably have to change that. So this is a railing. See, we do have railings, and as you can see, the HVAC. Good thing to note about all of this is that it's not dynamic lighting, so it's pre-computed. It's forcing a pre-computed lighting to be in this world, and that's because the geometry that I imported isn't doesn't have the specs it needs. It just has one channel, and when you do one channel, you have texture and lighting overlap, and that looks really ugly, like the first two videos. So I've forced pre-computed lighting, which is fine. It looks great for demonstration purposes, and so and this is mostly to prove that you can actually fit in this bathroom. A lot of times reviewers say, yeah, you can't fit. Well, you can. I'm in the bathroom. If I could jump in the bathroom, I would. The ceiling's not too tall for this gorilla to get in the bathroom, but for walkthrough purposes, this is great. And once again, like I said, you can just walk through the equipment. It's mostly to see it. You can see all the piping for the plumbing and HVAC and air conditioning. The coils are most importantly to show that your whatever system you're using. You can color code it as well, and that's coming out of the import. So as my staple space where you can start working on your projects up here, but then have a conference room down here in the same space, double loaded. Some cool things you can show with this engine is the scale of the place, and I can assure you this looks better than if it was on the wall, and people understand it better. And so moving up, another Allegro closet. So just location wise it works. And the skin is repetitive, so I just imported it once, like the bottom strip, and I started copying it and moving over. The cable diagrid is one single object, so I cannot edit it in Unreal. Mullions and glazing are all separate, so you basically create a kit of parts, and from Revit you import it as 3ds Max, you start collapsing them. Is another cool space. So you have a ultra high ceiling, 20 something foot ceiling, and you have working desks upstairs and a collaborative space down here, and you can see the concrete girder that's embedded in the space. And so you have multiple spaces in here. Let's keep going up. And then it repeats the same thing one more time. But coming up the stairs, this is the last level. So things like that you'll have to take into account from Revit. So whenever you're exporting from Revit, make sure that the wall does not collision with the floor. So when you put it through 3ds Max and you put it into Unreal, you won't have that overlapping texture, because you really can't edit geometry in Unreal as you can in 3ds Max or even in Revit. You just change the outline and boom. This is kind of like the conference area. This is the end of the other core staircase, and you'll have some kind of presentations or gallery or whatever up here. And let's keep coming up. This is what I was saying, like the HVAC is not completely modeled, accurately modeled. Obviously you wouldn't be able to walk through that, but we are. And so going all the way up, and mostly this is a proof of concept that you could do this within the time span of a semester. And so here we are at the top of the monument. You can see the extent of the site. For those from Texas Tech, you probably recognize this site as Lucas back there. Very poorly modeled, and a lot of your second year projects were built behind that gas station. But this is kind of like the working extent without while pushing the boundaries of any computer. And like I said, the furthest buildings are one file, one single joined file. Let's kind of cheat right here and just drop down. Boom. And trees were put in Unreal. If you can see, the game stops lagging as much when you look away from the project. That's because it already has a native level of detail. So I set it to where when you look at the building, you're looking at the entire building. So it's bringing depth and everything, so you can see the frame rate, how it changes from here, how it gets slower here. And that's something, if you're more advanced, if you get to the chance to get more advanced in the settings, you can start naming certain elements as props or small props or big props or and such. And so the mechanical room is actually pretty cool. You can see all the piping. This is very promising for systems, especially because you can start labeling and doing render text on each piece of machinery. This is what it would look like without texture as well. And you can start labeling things and following with the character. Right now, I haven't been able to get the character to go up there, go up a ladder. So I'm just gonna hit restart. I just press start on the control and I can reset and enter. So I'm back at it again. So this is it. This took a whole semester to work on. So for the spring semester of 2016, I started working on this during spring break. Starting delving into how would I import my model in Unreal, and then it wasn't until a week before reviews that I was able to polish a workflow that I could bring into here, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. There's some things that I wish I would have known so I could do it in advance, such as setting the border of the Revit file. So this square right here, that's the site from the Revit file, and the rest is site from the Rhino file that we did at the beginning of the semester. And so as you can see, it's kind of shoddy right there, but it's important to know now that you can actually build more. The more individual pieces you have, the easier it is to start building it in Unreal. It'll take time, but very large meshes, so I had to take the textures out of the containers, and I had to take out the bricks and the glass out of these files to make it more bearable, and as you can see, some of the trucks, they kind of didn't make it. Two of the taco trucks didn't make it, and definitely more than one of those didn't make it. Just one came out, but that's okay. But also the point is to match the level of detail on everything. So eventually, for a project that requires very paid attention to buildings next to it, you would probably want to consider texturing, so importing this as a separate project and that as a separate project. But as you can see, it's possible, and also even with pre-computed lighting, so it's forcing like a preset number. There's a pretty cool like sun glare, and like even on the chairs, it looks gamey, like some game from a PS2 or PS3, but it's doable in a sense. And once you set everything to the right settings, I'll be posting links to the forums that I've posted at, so you guys can have this information. It's really important, and it's a possibility that we haven't tapped in yet. So thanks for watching. Just waiting until it's 15 minutes exactly to turn it off, but Appreciate it.